So maybe like right here. Like right.
So should I turn my machine on like I'm
So here we go throughout the coronavirus pandemic. And we had 2 people.
But shouldn't we have on masks too? Like we're pulling.
Yeah, we're gonna be having our
in their natural habitat, actually making the effort to save some people's life instead of buying all the toilet paper.
Wait a minute, what side goes to your face? What side's supposed to? Oh God, how are we gonna talk?
Like that?
Can you understand what we're saying? Oh, this hurts.
Well, then you should
Do I
try
have
this
it upside down?
So explain what you're doing.
So basically, one of our family members is a nurse in California. And as most of you know, they are really at a disadvantage for having the necessary supplies they need to do their jobs and take care of people.
Mm-hmm.
So what we decided to do, because he called in panic, one of our cousins, is make some masks to send to California.
That's cool. Y'all got the fancy joints too. What's that? Touchscreen sewing machine?
Well, it's not touch. It's not touch. It's just digital. It's
I'm ready to. I'm like, mine look all archaic, and they still got this.
I mean, I like a little extra pizzazz on my machine. I don't sew often, so this was a special need.
Well, there's a letter better than an A+ somewhere in the world, and y'all get it.
Oh, you giving us an A+?
No, whatever's better than
So, other people need them too here as well, and I mean, eventually, but our request was for about 300. So, we'll see.
So, we've been busy all night.
So, where y'all get the material from?
She has some. I ordered some. We still have to pick some more up because everybody's buying stuff all over the place, so orders had to be made.
Now that the order came that everybody's supposed to wear one, now we can't get any supplies to help the first responders.
Exactly.
So,
did you see my post?
Mm-mm.
And I was like, the governor said everybody gotta wear a mask now. And then the cops come and say, shoot the nigga, he was wearing a mask.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Everybody's wearing them.
But I added some little emojis to it to make it funny.
So you're just doing one side?
I just did one. Huh?
I thought you said one thing too.
One blue and 2, but you got to put the pink on the side of the pink.
That's what I was doing. I couldn't remember.
We rolling, Key?
Yeah.
So, Tiffany, we were talking about, earlier today, we were talking about women and self-care and all the paths that we go down in life. Just trying to maintain, just trying to keep our sanity. And then all of a sudden we realized one day we lost it. Like, for me, we were talking about, and the reason I asked you if you had any anger issues was because that's something I struggled with a lot. And I had to, I went to therapy and they told me I was depressed and I was this and that. I was like, no, I wasn't. I just was having life. We live life. We're taught to deal with it. And it turned out that I had a lot of issues that I hadn't dealt with in my life. I just shoved them down, and it was coming out in all different kinds of ways, and I was violent. The first thing I would do was lash out at somebody. I'm not talking about it. I'm just going to hit you. Mm-hmm. So you were saying that you found out that you were having some anxiety issues and some other things.
Yeah.
So what's your story?
A lot of times for me, I'm a worker bee, and so I don't always want the spotlight. But when I see people who want the spotlight and make it so blatantly obvious, and then they're getting all the credit for the stuff that I do, a lot of times, that's when those are my triggers. I know my triggers, and it's those type of people. And so at work, I would be doing all this work, and I have all the extra work to do, and they're sitting there with their feet up, and then the time comes to get credit for something, and they're taking all the credit.
But you said you didn't want the credit.
I didn't want the credit, but I don't want you to not at least say thank you, or no, it wasn't just me. It was, Tiffany did a lot too, but they weren't doing that kind of stuff. Or better yet, the bosses just wasn't recognizing it, period. sometimes you at least want somebody to say thank you, regardless of not wanting the credit.
Just show me I'm appreciated a little bit.
Exactly.
Something.
And that's what was happening. And so here we are on deadlines and gotta have this done, gotta have this done. And then the bosses are going on vacations and then when come back and they want it. So I kind of lost it. Like,
You lost the drive to even want to try?
I lost it as far as patience and keep pushing it down. I kept pushing it down.
How did you find out you were losing it?
Because I was like getting smart with them and lost all respect and just forgot I was at work.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
It was coming out in other
It was
ways out your
exactly.
mouth. And you realized it.
Yeah.
Or
And-
did you get in trouble first?
No, I didn't get in trouble yet. I had just gotten to a point where I knew I couldn't stand myself.
Oh. Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, something's wrong. Like, I hated everything. Everything was making me mad at church. Everything was making me mad at home. Everything was making me mad at work. And I said, it can't be everybody else.
It can't be everybody else.
And I said, something's not right here. So I was like, okay. So from maybe late July, all the way through the 1st of December, because I knew I would be off from work to get and I kept saying, we got to make some changes here for health reasons. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't have anything wrong with me, but I didn't want to have anything wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, do I need anger management? Do I need to just talk to somebody about some things? And maybe taking the lid off of it would help.
Figure out what it is.
Right.
Because you didn't even know what it was.
I didn't know
Just
what it
out
was.
of nowhere.
Just out of
Everything was
nowhere.
getting on your nerves.
Yeah. And I even went as far as to say, am I going to menopause?
Right. I was going to say, was your hormones out of
Nope.
whack?
I got it checked. I was checking all the boxes.
You were checking all the physical boxes.
Right. I said it's not menopause. They told me it's not that.
Because it's a lot easier if it's somebody else than something else.
Well, I would have been okay if it was menopause or something because I knew there was a fix. You know what I mean? Like what I had, there was no pill for.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, we gotta do something. So I was like, you know what? I'm not opposed to therapy, and that's what I did. Called a therapist up, took the lid off of it, cried like a baby for probably first 5 or more sessions, and then you just kind of down to trying to get to the root of it. And during that time, I realized that my anxiety takes over a lot, and I kind of mistake the anger management for anxiety.
Okay, we need two. I don't know what I was thinking.
2 what?
2
Blues?
pieces.
2 blue?
2 blue.
Give me a sewing thing, rev up or whatever.
You want a rev? Oh, we
Yeah.
wasn't ready to rev. We were still talking.
A rev?
I just want a close up of it real quick.
What's
All
that?
right. He just wants me to sew a little bit.
So,
It was better so.
like even with this,
Focus.
how we got us all over. What's that? I got us all over.
So we have to make the mask with moisture control in it, so when the nurses are working, they're not getting a lot of moisture buildup. So we have to have special fabric in them to make sure that they are not building up moisture.
And you can still breathe.
And they can still breathe. Unlike some of the masks we've tried lately,
Yeah.
like the ones we have on now. But we're just trying to be compliant to the 6-foot rule, so we're not quite compliant, so we're not quite.
We're on Compliance Street.
We're getting there.
So
like
do you
that,
want these
something like
facing the
that.
same direction?
I
like
want the
this
2
way?
pinks together, back to back.
Okay. Not this way.
Back to back, and then the blue on each outside.
Okay.
We're going to have to do 2 blue.
Okay.
So after you went and got your help,
Mhm.
what did you find out about yourself? Like, is it you, or do you really just have a lot of issues you just need to deal with?
I think I have a lot of issues I need to deal with. There's sometimes you can have all the love in the world, the best parents, the best whatever, but there's still always something missing.
Mm-hmm.
And, as you know, I grew up with my grandparents. My mom was there, my dad was there when he could be, but there was still always that void that was missing. I had the greatest of uncles and men around me. But there's still something missing because at the end of the day, I was like, once I kind of really got to hang out with my dad more, I realized I was more of him than anybody, and it kind of answered some questions.
Wow.
It really, really did.
Like,
So, like why, sometimes with our family, I just didn't feel like, I just
you
felt
felt
like,
a little different.
yeah, I felt
Sometimes
way
you just
different.
felt different.
Yes, I felt so different.
Hmm. Now Tiffany has a famous dad, y'all. He was with Howard
The
Dog?
Manhattan.
Manhattans. I can't remember the Manhattans, and his name, they called him Blue, and he was what was he, a baritone?
The beast.
The bass. He was the bass. He's passed on, gained his wings. But luckily you were able to get some time in there
Exactly.
with him and
My
his-
newly found sibling.
Right. Now how many siblings do you have?
7.
7. Wow. You go from my only child to 7 siblings.
Yeah.
So
Well,
let's-
I mean, but in a sense, I never felt like an only child because I always had somebody else around, whether it was my stepbrothers, who pretty much have been my brothers.
You're right. You have had them.
And those are but at the end of the day, it was still the old, why am I so different?
So what did you find that you were different? What way?
When I say different, I mean, there was attitudes and just things, the way I dealt with things that my family that I grew up with didn't deal with. It's the
So
same way.
even though you didn't grow up with your dad, you still had his mannerisms.
Exactly.
And you had no idea where they came from.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So that must have really did you good to figure out, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I belong.
Yeah, exactly.
I
And that's
feel-
exactly what
I
it
feel
was.
like I'm home.
Exactly.
Lucy, I'm
Yeah.
home.
It was, we had, before he even got sick, it was some closure on things before he passed away, that we actually had an opportunity to close out some stuff. There were so many other kids you always thought they were getting all the time and
Yeah,
Come to
yeah.
find out, we were all getting the same.
Same time, none.
Right.
He was on the road.
He
He
was
was
on the
busy.
road.
He was making more children.
He was on
He
the
had things
road.
to do.
He was actually, working, they spent their career to the end on the road.
They sure did. They sure did.
But it was definitely that, so then on top with that and therapy and unfolding a lot of that kind of stuff, and every layer that's unpeeled is another release that you allow yourself to have to be able to exhale and be free of something. So, and that's why I do it. And
Did you learn how to handle your anger differently?
Yes, and I was when I took that month off in December from work when I had the user lose time,
Mm-hmm.
I ended up doing learning a lot of different ways to channel that energy. Growing up, you fight.
Don't I know?
As an adult, you can't fight. So it was like,
People want to lock you up for that, man.
you kind of have to step back even when you don't want to, and you have to just breathe and stay in the moment, go for a walk, do whatever it took to just trying to get past what you were really feeling, to the point where you're kind of telling yourself, it's not that serious. What are you so worried about? What, you're kind of talking yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what it is. Or instead of reacting, I had to stop reacting.
Have you noticed it working for you?
Yeah.
Are you
And I
happier?
think everybody around me has too.
Everybody else is glad too.
Woo, they be like, yeah. Especially at work. They're like, okay.
Oh my goodness, you're not ready to explode every time they come out.
Yeah, because you didn't want to be that confrontational person. So, and that's where it was. I love my job, so I didn't want to be.
You didn't want to be without.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas now, a lot of people are.
Right. And so that's what it is. So, I'm still doing stuff with the lady. We do breathing exercises, different thought processes of how to handle things. We talk about things from childhood that may have caused you to feel these ways, and at what point in your life did you start feeling this way. And so that's what it is. I have a tendency to pile up a lot of stuff in one day too. I just do too much. And
You overextend yourself?
yeah, I really overextend myself. So
You overcommit?
Yes.
Why? Do you have the need to please?
I
Are
think
you
sometimes I feel like
or do you just enjoy staying busy?
I enjoy staying busy, But then I also often say to myself, am I doing this to fill a void of something that might be
Oh, don't you hate that?
And so I have to stop myself, say no.
But do you want to do it though? I mean, it's a difference.
Sometimes I want to do it, but I don't know if I have enough time to do it, and I try to do too much in one day.
So time management.
Time management, I have. I'm not bad with it. It's just saying no. There's not enough sleep management.
Mm-hmm. So you get to doing bits and pieces of
and so
everything.
Even my therapist is like, you're doing too much. You gotta stop. Wait. She's like, you're making me tired.
Wow. Wow. So what are you running from?
I think sometimes I don't really have the fam. I don't have a husband. I don't have kids. So what am I running from?
So you're staying busy so that you aren't letting loneliness creep in.
Could be. I haven't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah. I used to stay real busy so that, because I thought that I would drive myself crazy if I had a minute to think. You know, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so, if I have 5 minutes, maybe I'll get lonely and end up in a relationship. Let me go get busy because I don't want that again. So that's not a good solution.
Right.
So I just go, well, you know, let me just stay busy. That way I don't have to think about it. I don't have to deal with my feelings. But then when we don't deal with those feelings,
back to therapy. Yeah. And that's what I think. I mean, and that's what I'm thinking. I don't know because I don't mind being by myself. So that's what I'm trying to figure out here.
The hard part is that when you don't mind being by yourself, but then you choose to want some companionship sometimes.
Yeah.
Finding someone who will not smother you to death, allow you to still have your me time,
yeah.
But understand that, you know, there's a time, you know, I figured I can't live with somebody again. I don't think I could do it.
Well, my fear was living by myself for so long at one point that I was scared that it was going to come to a time where I didn't want to be bothered.
Yeah, yeah. But that's not happening for you? You're good?
Well, I'm by myself now, so it doesn't matter. But I think it works best this way.
When people come over, are you like watching where they're putting their shoes? And
No.
Are you running and getting them coasters?
No, I try to let people have their
You know how
moment
you go to
because
somebody's
I hate
house?
how that feels.
Oh, you go to somebody's house and you just feel like, can I walk on your carpet?
Yeah, my brothers. You be trying to get the last scoop off the plate and they're already like, and you're like running after your plate.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not totally there yet. I'm open for trying. And another part of the whole process for me is just trying to, you know, like anybody, you gotta get used to other people. You gotta be fair.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always be you, my way or the highway.
What? Who said?
I know.
Who said we can't be that way? I tell them up front, I'm going to always do what I want to do. I'm not going to have regard for anybody else's feelings.
See?
Because I don't want to be attached to anything. I want to do what I want to do. I want to be happy. I can only be happy doing what I want. I'm not going to be happy doing what you want.
So be by yourself.
That's what I'm saying. So if you feel that way, you just need to be single. You don't need to be trying to be all in a relationship where you have to compromise and consider other people's feelings and thoughts. Come on, it's not fair. I feel like men do that all the time. What?
But is it fair that when you're ready for companionship that they gotta be available for your needs, your what you think is companionship?
You mean if I
Like if you want to be bothered that day?
Why can't you just have an agreement up front? Some days I'm gonna want to be bothered, some days I ain't. Some days you're gonna want to be bothered, some days you're not.
And then what happens?
Why can't we just respect that?
But what happens when they say they're not trying to be bothered?
You can't tell me no though.
No.
So you can't tell me no. Because that's not cool. That's not cool at all. Why would you want to tell me no?
Because they have guidelines as well as we do that. They want to meet. Where did we put the? That's selfish.
And you know, people who are selfish need to be what? Alone.
So,
Right. You I figure like this, right? In all honesty, when God decides it's time for me to sit my butt down and understand, because it's not like I'm trying to cheat and do all those deceitful things. I just want to be alone. I just want to watch what I want to watch on my TV.
Right. Trust me, I know.
I just want to walk around the house with a t-shirt on without somebody grabbing me.
I'm back to the TV thing. Let's just not being on the same page just for that.
I can't watch TV with other people. I don't touch my remote. Just don't touch
And
it.
don't talk.
Because they just keep turning the channel. Just flick, 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 flick. As soon as something good's getting ready to happen, they flick. What was you doing? My dad used to do that all the time. I just wanted to see what was on the other channel. Well, what was on this channel was good. Now we missed the murder scene. I don't watch this movie for a whole hour, and I didn't get to see the murder scene. I've been waiting for it. But yeah, I don't know.
So are you afraid? Are you afraid of like dying alone?
No. And we all want to die alone?
Yeah. I mean, technically, yeah, but do you not want anybody to be there?
Can you turn to the side?
Kim,
Yeah.
this way.
Yeah. Just stay that way and talk. Can you say that?
Oh.
And talk and do that.
So, yeah, that's a good question. That's
Are you afraid? You say we're all gonna die alone, but are you afraid of? Because you know better than anybody that at a certain age you need help.
But how do you know that you're not going to end up having to help the other person more? Because people don't take care of themselves. And then I don't want to be anybody's nursemaid and cooking and cleaning and I don't.
Why does it seem like it's not going the same way? Oh, because it needs to be on the other side.
Okay, so here's the deal. Here's my thing. When my mom got old and my dad got old, I did what I had to do.
Right.
And then when my son got sick and he had his issues, I did what I had to do. I sacrificed myself and everything that I felt like to make sure everybody else was good.
Right.
Raise my kids, help my grandkids, make sure everybody else was good. When you get married, you need to make sure that other person is good. And I don't feel as though I'm there right now.
I got you.
Because right now, I just want to relax and not have to always put somebody else first. And I just want to take care of me. And it seems like the only way you can be really sure is to do it yourself. I mean, I'm not saying you don't meet people that don't do that, but just for me right now, I just don't feel like I'm available.
I got you.
I don't know that I ever will be, though. I sort of like being by myself.
Well, you know what they say, if you can't stand yourself, how do you expect somebody else?
My mom used to say it all the time. If you can't stand you, how you expect somebody else to stand you? I'd be like, well, they do. Who cares how they do? They do. But it's gonna happen. I said when I got 70, I would slow down.
But it's one of those things too, I think you just don't go looking for it. It just happens, it happens.
Right.
I'm a firm believer.
Well, I'm a runner. My girlfriends used to call me the runaway bride. They was like, I ain't never seen nobody. Every time I turn around, you supposed to be getting married. Don't. Yeah, well, you know.
It's either that or be the one, your marriage material, but.
But what?
That's just it.
You
What
ain't
is
the one
but?
for me?
What is the but?
Well, there's always a
You're
but.
always down, or the home girl, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, the home girl. You somebody else's
I'm
marriage
always
material.
The home girl.
No, I'm usually not the home girl. I don't mind being a home girl though.
So when you do the one you just did, are we leaving the blue so they can breathe in it? Or did
The pink sides go together. So here's what we're looking at. All right.
Oh, okay.
So
And then you put it through the thing to fold it out.
what I meant to do though
Wasn't it? This
What
is
I meant to
perfect,
do
though,
is
but it
only
should have
have
been
2 on each one, not 4.
4 of. But I think this is the consistency you need. Like, you know what I mean?
You think 4 is better than 2?
Yeah, I think this is the consistency we need.
Okay. So we need
You know what I
4.
mean? Like weight wise, and it stays in the shape.
Hold it over your mask and let's see how we're looking. Okay, so let me show you.
I think this is perfect, to be honest. Yep. Yep. Almost exactly the same thing.
Okay, and see I did the seams really smaller.
Yep. But would this be, are we leaving the blue where they would breathe into this? Sort of like the one I have on?
It's inside out. It's got to go inside out.
Okay, so you're going to just keep the material.
Or do you want to just leave it like that?
But with pink on the outside? I kind of like these, to be honest with you.
I kind of do too.
I kind of like it this way.
I do too.
It seems
Oh my God, we're going to make 20 before we decide what we want.
But that's just it. It's trial and error. We gotta. I definitely like this consistency and weight. This is exactly what I have on right now.
2 women making masks, trying to make a difference.
Because it
That's
actually,
us.
we had to find a material that, from doing some research, what did they say? You couldn't. It's not about you catching it from somebody else. It's about you giving it to somebody else. And so with that being said, you still got to be able to breathe in this thing. And you wanted to get a material that's breathable, that they can wash if they needed to.
This whole thing is just crazy.
Exactly.
It is crazy, but
every day the different things, everything's changing. Like, who's to say this is going to be the product that they need? I mean, the material that we need for
I was
masks.
like, oh no, it's so deadly. You can't go nowhere, but you still go to the supermarket though.
And you can still hike and bike and walk. As
oh
long as
man,
you
we
get
gotta
people in your
let people
house.
out in jail.
Yeah,
We
well,
gotta let people out in jail, but we gonna lock them up if they outside though.
So they're opening up the jails to put the people walking around outside.
they really are.
For
They
anybody
really-
out after 8 o'clock.
They really are. I tell you, this whole COVID mess has shown us a lot, you know, about our administration. I know this is supposed to go a little easier than this.
I
But
just feel like all
Oh.
we need is 2 good solid weeks to see at least if the numbers drop.
yeah, well,
Everybody just stay in your house. Like right now with New York and Connecticut and New Jersey, what are they saying? You just can't travel there and they can't leave?
I think it's the chemtrails. They spraying all that stuff in the air.
They've
the
been doing it
metal
for years.
And the red blood cells from whatever the fuck. We don't know what red blood cells is coming from. And we've been inhaling it for years, centuries. I mean, well, decades.
Yeah.
It's 10, right?
We never knew what it was. You know, when we
Now
were
it's
little,
probably
we used to
starting
see
to affect
the
us.
planes flying over. You see the white line behind it. And I thought it was just, you know, oh well, that's just what planes do.
Nope.
But
Until you
then
see them making fake clouds.
when you look up and you look up chemtrails, there's a whole lot of articles on it.
Never heard of it until today.
Chemtrails, really, girl? You gotta look it up and just see.
No, I'm already freaked out enough
Well,
with everything.
it's just that they used to say that they used to do it in certain areas, just like they used to fly over, and back in the old days, the cornfields, they used to crop their, spray their fields. Well, it's the same idea. You get up high over certain areas and you drop chemicals.
Oh, I got you. That whole, yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah.
If you ever looked up in the sky, the clouds don't even look like clouds no more. They look like sheets and crazy patterns.
Well, they always change. Okay, here's that one.
I definitely like this this weight wise better. Definitely.
Alright, we got 11 minutes. I can charge it back up though later.
But why? It feels like once we do the turn, they get smaller.
It
Even though I know we're
does.
gonna flatten it out.
It does.
Is it covering the other one?
The other one's going way under the chin.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So how did this idea come about?
6:30
Me.
yesterday morning. Well, our other girlfriend had called me Thursday, and she was like, "You should make masks." I was like, "No, I'm not sewing. I don't like to sew."
Well, it started Thursday too because remember my aunt was like, you and Kim need to get together. And
Who said that?
V. Oh, you weren't on that thing. I said no.
I wasn't on that call. They don't include me on the calls that make me work. They don't seem to want to include me on those. But that's how it happened. She hit me up yesterday morning at 6:30 in the morning and asked me to get on this project with her. And I told her no 5 times. She didn't listen.
That's what's up.
She wouldn't listen to me.
I mean, as long
She
as
didn't care.
7 people don't come in the house, we good.
I know, right? I know. So we're doing it. We're just gonna do it. I'm just gonna be quiet and do it this
You
time.
already did it.
So,
Yeah.
yep. I knew she could sew.
Whatever.
I can think of stuff. I just sometimes need the means to be able to do it. And if it meant I had to figure out how to use this machine on YouTube.
The machine that still has the tape on it.
Exactly. No, this tape is just so that I know to stay on the line. I took a sewing class.
There's a line there.
Yeah, I didn't know it, but in the class we put it there so I could just
Oh, okay. See, I haven't had sewing class since 7th grade. Why do I have 3 pieces of pink in this one?
I don't know, because that's probably why one was missing right here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Alright, so these, I thought when we had it the other way, it was a perfect size.
When we had the other way. See, that's why I didn't stitch
Like,
this,
I
'cause
like
I'm
the
thinking,
stitch outside, like this.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to do it
To
that
give
way.
it more, give it the bulk.
I think we're going to have to.
Yeah. I mean, this.
I don't like having raw edges, but I guess we're going to have to keep the size.
I think that makes it, gives us the size we need. And like I said, these are made like that anyway.
Those are. Why did I think I
These
had-
are the hospital ones.
Alright. Okay. So we're going to have to. Oh, my goodness gracious. So how have you been with your anger issues these days? Like, what are you doing now?
For starters, I've learned I have to stay in the exercise room. I have to. So I get up early in the morning when people are asleep,
Mm-hmm.
and especially this time before all the German folks come out. And I always go out and do some type of exercise early in the morning because it's your, and whatever it is, it calms me down. I keep thinking of the word, endorphins.
Endorphins.
Yeah, endorphins. That. It keeps me a little more at bay, and that's something else during that time when I was really like at my worst. I wasn't exercising. I had torn my Achilles, so
Oh, I remember that.
and that took me a whole nother place. It kind of put me in a little bit of a depression.
I
and a
guess
funk.
so.
Because it's I've had other surgeries, but that one I needed somebody for real.
Mm.
Because when you're on crutches or whatever else, you can't carry your water. You can't.
You can't do nothing.
And so
Didn't your mom come stay with you for a while?
Yes, she came in the very, very beginning part of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then she had went home. But it's like, I don't know. That was probably like the worst for me so far, as far as need and having to have to need somebody to take you to the store, and you can't even pump gas because you're gonna be standing there on one foot. And
Mm-hmm.
I think this.
Well, you weren't even supposed to be driving.
Well,
What do you mean?
once I had to go to the doctors, nobody was really around.
Oh my
So,
God.
see, there takes you back to, do you really want to be alone?
Well, listen.
For times like that.
I've been grooming my granddaughter, and I told her that when I became older and decrepit, she was going to have to take care of me. And I told my daughter she needs to get me an
perfect,
in-law suite. So I can live with somewhere. I don't want to live with somebody, like, in my face. You know?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's just say I'm not going to rule it out later, just not now. How's that?
Kim, I think this is the perfect shape, style, everything.
Inside out.
Right, we just need to put the pink.
Okay, I'm doing it the other way now.
Okay.
If I can get the stitch right.
This is like perfect.
Hey, it's not too bad. Look. I mean, I'm going to go over it and make it tighter, but I'm just trying to get a rough.
Consistent.
Yeah. Now that the blue holds up well, it keeps the shape so it doesn't do what the other was doing.
Right.
All the sliding around, and your cutting is excellent. You are a good cutter.
Stop, no, please, continue.
I know, keep going. No, great job cutting the blues. I want to make sure you get your thank yous while you are alive.
So as you can see, she didn't want to do this in the beginning, but she's
She did not want to do this in the beginning. She said no 3 times.
She did say no.
Because she does not want to sew.
And then we started seeing the. Then our cousin kept texting and was in panic mode in California because his staff wasn't showing up, and he was like he had 5 masks left. And
Everybody else's problems has to be ours.
Right. Exactly.
Everybody else.
So not just us, but then we have some family in Pennsylvania that's trying to make some masks too, and we're trying to just send them.
And then we got family members that actually got the virus.
Yes. Oh, I forgot all about
Yeah, we got family members that got the virus, and we saw firsthand how that mess hit you,
Yes.
because they went down fast and hard. So we're trying to help avoid that. Why are you going backwards?
We got 4 minutes.
Okay. So, Tiff, I just want to say thanks for making me get on this project with you. It's actually wonderful. We get quality time, but we have to wear masks and we have to use our sanitizer and make sure we're being safe. But you know, we still get our quality time. We still get the chit chat
And serve a purpose.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's purpose. I like it better on the outside too.
I definitely like it.
I don't know why it's not moving right now, but.
But hopefully by the time this is done, I'll know how to use my machine and
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to learn that today.
I've had this machine in a box for 7 years.
How do you do your? Do you have buttons on it for zigzag and stuff on the front?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have one that shows a close zigzag, or do you?
No, it shows close.
Okay. Because sometimes you can pick the stitch.
Yeah,
Because that's what you're gonna need.
I have different stitches on there.
Okay.
I don't have the digital, but I have.
Don't be hating on my digital display. I know, right? I know. I love it. I can see.
I was like, oh, there is a new version of this.
This sewing machine is probably 5 years old at least.
So 2 years after this.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty old, but like I said, you know, she wanted me to help her learn how to sew, but she was making herself skirts and everything when we got. I mean, I didn't have to show her much. Just how to thread her machine and how to cut out a pattern. And then she just bought the skirt, so it's just front, back, waistband, and be done.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because she likes a lot of variety. Me, I get one good piece and we just wear it to death. It's comfortable. I'm just going to wear it with a blue shirt this time, red shirt this time, blue flip-flops. You're just going to keep, I don't care. If it's comfortable to me, that's more important. I don't care what your eyes can see.
Oh, Kim, that looks perfect.
It does, doesn't it? I like it better.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Vaughn's gonna be so excited.
Okay, now it's acting retarded. The woes of sewing. This is why I hate
I
sewing.
remember we had to make that stupid ass gym bag in school.
Y'all made gym bags? Jeez, they came that far?
Yeah, I mean,
we made a
pot
vest.
holders.
We made a vest so that we came beyond the pot holder phase. We had a vest that was like this, where you could turn the inside, wear it both ways, like an inside out.
Ooh, that's not easy to do around the armholes.
A vest, yeah.
Okay, so we're not exactly on the stitch we need to be on, but it's coming along.